After many videos on Deltarune, I decided to cover useless Undertale information. But I discovered dozens of unused rooms inside Undertale, those being weird, broken, and some of them being downright creepy. So let's go through all of them and see what's hidden inside this now decade-old game. Feel old yet? Dear God, I do. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to support me, and rate the video 10 old Toby Foxes out of 10. First off, I actually had to get into the unused rooms, which was an absolute hassle to do because most of them give you this screen of a dog. In the game files, this is called a dog check, and it's there to prevent you from getting inside these rooms. But the only thing I'm checking is how to disable it. So after finally running over that dog with my car, I can finally get into these rooms. Room 264 is a blank room that displays a lab entry written in Wingdings font called Entry Number 17. Dark. Darker, yet darker. The darkness keeps growing, the shadows cutting deeper. Photon readings negative. This next experiment seems very, very interesting. What do you two think? Presumably, this was written by the royal scientist that worked before Alphys, named W.D. Gaster, due to his mentions of experiments and the W.D. in his name most likely standing for Wingdings. This room alone has spawned nearly infinite debate ever since its discovery, with many questions like, did Gaster make the Dark World? How is Gaster seemingly in Deltarune? If so, why is he meddling with Deltarune's universe? And most importantly, who the hell is U2? Is it Sans and Alphys? I mean, one is a scientist and the other one has a weapon called a fucking Gaster Blaster. Is it Sans and Papyrus? Is it Des and Azrael? Is it the Knight and Chris? Who fucking knows? Regardless, it seems like Tricky Tony wanted his room to be found because it's one of the few unused rooms to not have the dog check, making it significantly easier to access than all the others. One room that is not unused but is still incredibly hard to find is the secret hallway in Waterfall. You see, every time you start a new save file of Undertale, you're given a random number between 1 and 100 called the fun value. If the number is 66, you'll get this empty hallway between these two rooms. However, there is a 10% chance for there to be a door inside this hallway, so every time you start a new game, you have a 0.1% chance of getting this door, and you have to completely delete your save file and replay through half the game in order to even get another attempt at the 1 in 1000 chance of getting this door. If you have incredibly good luck or you're a dirty hacker, you can go into this door where you find a plain gray room with this guy in the middle. His sprite is called Mysteryman in the files. Clicking on him makes him smile and vanish, and that's really it. While it was never confirmed, the community as a whole kind of accepted this guy to be how Gaster looked. Well, either that or redacted. Room 272 is called Water Redacted and has this weird-ass white creature that fades as you get further away from it and says redacted in Wingdings if you talk to it. Not only was this room redacted from the game, it was even more redacted from the dog check, forcing you to hack the game to get in. If you leave through the bottom, you'll get the sound test room, which is not unused, but is incredibly rare to find during vanilla gameplay, having a fun value of 65. The sound test room says you can play all your favorite songs from the game, with 3 songs that are incredibly short and are never used in the game, and then Gaster's theme, which loops a few times before saying, "Thank you for your feedback. Be seeing you soon." In the files, the song is called music_st_him. There's also a 10% chance for Gaster's theme to be replaced with Peter's theme, playing this instead.
Holy fuck, I'm coming. Oh, it's holy.
Room 123 is a random waterfall area with a patch of grass in the middle. In the grass, there's 2 invisible NPCs, one that talks to you about catching bugs, and the other one asks you, excuse me, yes you, with the striped shirt, can you do something about your friend? Yes, your friend. The one behind you, with the creepy smile. And when you talk to him again, he says, where'd your friend go? So you have smiling faces following you around. Sounds pretty familiar, but at least that friend wasn't inside of you. Anyways, this room isn't dog checked, so once again, it's pretty easy to get in. But both exits are broken, as the right one soft locks you while the left one crashes your game. Room 267 is a red room with 3 froggets that die immediately, and on my copy, it crashed my game. Hacking the game once again to have the froggets use the old vaporized animation makes the room work properly, and the froggets turn into red mist. Room 271 is a gray room with someone talking about smelling the pain and shaky text, and you're soft locked. Room 273 is a waterfall room that has you do another seed puzzle to progress to the right. Going down crashes the game, and going to the right leads you to room 274. 274. Room 274 is a blank room that plays the game over theme on loop. It has 3 of these weird-ass red NPCs that wander around. I guess they're like lava flowing down, but with like a face on it. I don't know. If you talk to them, the game crashes unless you have a file in your game folder called testlines.txt, which I filled with top-tier comedy. There's an invisible door that will bring you to the next room. 275 is a completely black room with nothing in it. Apparently there's a door here, but you can't really blame me for not finding it when it's fucking invisible. But since I'm a dirty hacker, I made it visible and it just brings you back to room 274. 276 is a bullet test with a frogget that crashes the game after a few seconds. Room 287 is called Sprite Check and needs a flashing lights warning real quick because it is displaying every sprite in the game extremely quickly, alongside Undyne's floating head for some reason. If you press spacebar, it will take you to the joystick configuration menu, but for me that just crashed the game. Room 296 is a debug room for the Hotland vents and has a trigger right above where you spawn that has Alphys try to call you, crashing the game. According to the cutting room floor, if you disable certain flags, you can get this text box to print out the intro dialogue followed by a Metaton fight, something I can only find on a single crusty decade-old video with a Bandicam watermark. Room 297 is a room with a bunch of conveyor belts in it, and walking off of them takes you to room 298, which is just another big straight conveyor belt with dried dog food to the left and an echo flower in the middle that says error. It has a return door to room 297, and the exits to the left and the right either soft lock or crash your game. Room 299 is a test room for the snowy areas and has a bunch of ice that slides you around. There's also an exit to the left that doesn't take you anywhere, so nothing much outside of just testing how the ice worked. Room 300 is an unused ruins room with a bowl of rock candy. You can only carry 1 because it's too heavy and only heals 1 hit point. And in typical fashion, the exit to the left crashes the game. Room 301 is a gray room with a snowball that you can push around to make it bigger, eventually getting too big to move. That's it. Room 302 crashes immediately upon loading, but can be circumvented by deleting the object called Water Pushing Rock Gen. So once you dirtily hack the game again, you'll find the room is meant to be another waterfall room, this time being a kind of like Candle Cove, with 3 torches, one being underneath the waterfall and the tiles of it literally slide up to reveal it. This makes these little sparkly things appear, so this is probably meant to be a path opened up by the torches, but the collision is still there, so you have to no-clip. Going right reveals a secret path, and going into it takes you to an unused minigame of Asgore ramming into the night in his car after a few beers. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. It crashes your game. Room 303 is called Meet Undyne Old and is a worse looking version of the final scene of you meeting her. It has these 2 random Snowden NPCs who have pretty boring dialogue, and Papyrus is just here. He's hanging out. You can't talk to him either. If you go into the grass, which looks like planks of wood, you'll go underneath it and you'll get the usual dialogue of Papyrus talking to Undyne. It seems Undyne also has the same cutscene of her intimidating you, but it's blocked by the 2x4s in front of her. You'll even get the dialogue from Monster Kid, but he's not here, or at least I can't see him. Going to the right puts you into unused room 304, containing a random crystal and this NPC who wants to learn about the outside. Not the surface, but the outside of the room, because his mycelium keeps him stuck to the ground, and he begs you to investigate the room to his right. Most likely he was meant to be this mushroom guy from Tem Village, but it uses the same sprite as the ficus liquor guy. So going to the right, you'll go into room 305, being a pure black room with a single memory head that quickly disappears after you enter. This also completely soft locks your game, not only preventing you from loading your save or moving to the next room, but also prevents you from telling the guy what the room looked like. Well, there is dialogue that goes unused because the room is broken. You're given 2 options. You can either tell him that the other room was different from his or the same. If you say it's different, he'll be very happy, saying that's all I need to continue my fantasies. If you say it's the same, he'll be really sad and he'll tell you to please leave if you talk to him again. God damn, Tony, even your unused characters are sad. Room 326 is a black room with a smile dog, where you'll go if your save file is fucked up or if you try to access one of these unused rooms due to the dog check I disabled earlier. Not only does it trigger on the unused rooms, it also happens on certain regular rooms too if you try to directly load into them from boot instead of getting them normally. normally. This includes the neutral route credits, Sans' room and his lab, the surface world, the entirety of the True Pacifist credits, the Riverman transition room, all of the shops, the battle and game over screens, all of the Flowey fight rooms, and all of the Azrael fight and cutscene rooms. So not unused, but you aren't gonna see these unless you're a dirty hacker like me. This screen goes on forever, but there is a small chance that the dog here will be sleeping instead of dancing, with different music. Weirdly enough, the pitch of both songs are randomized. Room 328 is a test room for the True Pacifist Asgore fight, but with a gray background and no battle HUD. Really demonstrates how much of these graphics break when the background isn't black. Everyone has their final sprites and dialogue, but it crashes when Flowey tries to kill you. Room 329 is basically the same, but is testing the side characters coming in later in the scene, and you're soft locked after the dialogue finishes. Room 333 has Final Azrael with no battle box, so you can move around freely and even underneath Azrael. Eventually the background will go to the cool-ass rainbow background, and Azrael just floats around. That's it. Honestly, the only thing interesting here is that your heart is really chunky for no reason. Room 334 is the same but for testing Azrael Phase 2. Room 335 is the dog shrine from the Switch version, but mine is completely blank. Exiting out the bottom leads to Sans' house, and you can't go through the big-ass doorway underneath the sink. Room 336 is apparently for the Switch version of this room, but it crashes on PC. Room 337 is for the Mew Mew fight, and again, crashes on PC. And Room 338 and Room 339 are all console exclusive rooms and crash here as well. And finally, if you beat the game, you'll get various dialogue from Sans and cohorts depending on who you killed and spared and whatnot. There's a ton of different variations depending on what you do, but if you edit your save to have an impossible combination of flags, you'll get the impossible ending, where Sans tells you that this is an error handling message and to report it to the developers, and calls you a dirty hacker. And with how much I had to dig up in the guts of this game to make this video, he's fucking right, I am a dirty hacker. Please, call me that again. Please, I'm so close, please. So that's all the weird, buggy, and creepy unused rooms inside Undertale. Thank you to the cutting room floor and the Undertale wiki for all this information. I probably wouldn't have found these rooms ever if it wasn't for these wiki articles, and thank you for getting this far. Special thank you to my patrons Chris Griffin and Lance Rockhard. You guys are amazing. You get early access to vids and a special role in my Discord. Join it if you want to talk with the community. If you want to support for free, like, subscribe, and comment. Comment if I got anything wrong or left something out, or comment something else I should do, Deltarune or Undertale related. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.